Hello and welcome to the Cherie Nelson Show. I'm your host, Cherie Nelson. Every week we are going to focus on current events, hot topics, and we're going to have special guests that are going to share their success stories. So follow us. Make sure you subscribe and hit that button. Welcome to the Cherie Nelson Show. We have a special guest, one of my good friends, Courtney Stanton. She works with LA Unified School District, and she is an awesome teacher and administrator, and I'm so honored to have her here as our guest today. She's been in the school district for 18 years, and she just does an awesome job with administrating the school and the students at Middle College High School. So welcome, Courtney.
Thank you, Cherie. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I've been a longtime friend of Courtney's, and I've just been waiting for this opportunity to be able to interview you. So welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us about yourself as far as how did you get into teaching?
Oh, wow. Initially, I wanted to be an obstetrician gynecologist, but as life has it, I was introduced to teaching by someone I was actually dating. I was starting grad school, and he said, well, why don't you teach while you're going to school? And so I did the process, took the CBEST, and here I am many years later.
That's awesome. So now you're presently working at Middle College High School. How is that experience there as assistant principal?
I'm currently at Middle College, like you said, and I've just been there about 4 months. I spent most of my permanent teaching career at Crenshaw High School, and so there's a stark difference between Crenshaw and Middle College. It's much smaller, and the focus of Middle College is to actually a pipeline to college. The students that attend Middle College are really on a track to get an associate's degree in addition to their diploma, as well as attend or transfer to a 4-year university.
Wow. So let's start at the beginning. So where were you raised at?
I grew up in Compton, California, where I currently reside.
Okay, city of Compton. Hey. Okay. How was it growing up with a mom and a dad in the home? Because we don't hear about that too often now.
Oh, well, I had a wonderful upbringing. You're absolutely right. A part of my, speaking of my teaching career, my professional career, it also lent itself for me seeing young children, teenagers that weren't coming up in loving homes like I had. My mother and my father raised me. I'm an only child. I found out later that I had a brother, but I had a wonderful upbringing, a loving environment.
So you went to high school at?
I went to King Drew Medical Magnet High School because, like I said, I wanted to pursue medicine. But as life has it, I had a child at an early age after I finished college. And like I said, just got into other areas of working when I returned from Nashville and came back to Los Angeles. And began working and really started to explore other fields that I could use my degree.
So was there anything that happened in your life that touched you that made you want to get into the career of teaching?
Wow. Like I said, I was dating someone, and he was just actually sharing with me. I think I was a little frustrated because at the time I was working at aerospace, and I was making about $400+ a week, where I discovered, because I was in HR, I discovered that there were college students who were still in school who were making about $600 per week because actually they were engineers or into the aerospace. So my degree was in the biological sciences, and it didn't serve me justice at aerospace. So that's why he suggested, well, why don't you get into teaching? And once I did, oh my goodness, I really felt like that was a calling for me.
That's interesting. So COVID has been a big thing going on right now. How has it really affected the teachers and the students in the classroom right now?
Well, one, I can speak from the perspective of Los Angeles Unified School District. It was a huge turn turn and paradigm shift, both for teachers and for students. I think that LAUSD was just a little behind other school districts in terms of the distance learning. There were components of teaching that we implemented, but as you know, according to the news, there were major deployments of Chromebooks. So that means that our students weren't mandated to have Chromebooks or mandated to have a laptop. So when the pandemic hit, we're still issuing out technology compared to other students who actually were already in distance learning. And so with that being said, teachers had to learn new skills and new ways and innovative ways to teach, get familiar with educational applications online, and also students.
Wow, that's awesome. And we really appreciate you being in the teaching field and in administration, and you're awesome at it. So that's great. Now we'd like to talk about a hot topic, what's going on in the news. So, for instance, Ahmaud Arbery, they just completed the closing arguments. What's your take on that? How do you feel about that?
Oh, well, I mean, I believe, as some of the onlookers have already stated, that we definitely heard some racist viewpoints throughout the closing arguments, some things that weren't even relevant to the case. But also we know that we live in a culture, in a society with white supremacy. And when it comes to the life of Black people and Black men, we have made some strides, but we see that we still have much more to go.
There were some difficulties in some of the things they were saying in the closing arguments. Was there anything that stood out to you? I know they had said something about his fingernails were dirty, and people kind of took that in a bad way. How did you feel about them saying that?
Well, that's one of the areas that I was commenting on previously that I didn't feel was relevant to the case, as the defense attorney was pleading their case and really kind of reaching for supporting reasons to not convict the defendants. I was considering the mother, because I'm a Black mother myself and I have 2 Black sons,
Right.
and she had to hear her son being degraded and dehumanized throughout the case, throughout the hearing, but particularly in this closing argument where the defense attorney made a statement that down to his dirty Black toenails, as far as I can remember, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered while jogging in a neighborhood that the defendants didn't feel was a place for him to be. So I can't, if you're jogging, you have on shoes and socks. So I'm concerned about what his toenails had to do with the case and her closing argument.
Well, thank you. That's it for today with our show. Thank you so much. We had Courtney Stanton, and we really appreciate her coming. She was our first guest on our podcast. So thanks again. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you,
for the
Cherie.
Cherie podcast. This is the Cherie Nelson Show. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe so you can watch more videos like this one every week.